Hey guys, it's Drutter here, October the 3rd, 2013, and I thought I would start off with a shot of the silver chart over the past 3 weeks. And as you can see, we started about 2180, and we're pretty much flat until Bernanke made that announcement saying that there would be no tapering. It sent metal prices higher, and then they returned to 2180, where they stayed for another week and a half. And then there was the debt limit was reached and no agreement occurred, and the US government shut down, which should normally be bad for the US dollar and good for precious metals. Political instability and that kind of thing, war and all those types of things are usually bullish for precious metals. Instead we had a similar move, except in the other direction, downward, and that also recovered back to the 2175 level. So we are exactly where we were 3 weeks ago. Just these two political announcements that came out, which sent metals in the wrong direction. I don't know if you can say wrong, but counterintuitive direction, and they just returned back to that baseline. So here we are still at 2170 today. If you don't like Bitcoin, plug your ears for 30 seconds or so. This is the Bitcoin chart, the daily Bitcoin chart, and as you know, it was having a very long and sustained move upward from about 66 to 150, and then it didn't break through 150, and then has been trading ever since there, and it was just returning for another try to 150 yesterday when Silk Road, that's a gray market, you know, drugs and weapons and stuff like that, website that uses Bitcoin as its payment processor, was shut down by the FBI. So Bitcoin took a massive dive down below that trading range it had been in, but today has recaptured that level. So we'll keep on watching to see what happens with that. There's some propaganda on the front page of CNN about how you shouldn't use colloidal silver. I'll put a link to that below. Just a little bit of tomato corn here at the end. These obviously aren't quite ready yet. These are the orange organics from outside here. But as you can see, some of them are going yellow and then orange. Some of them are still green, but keep those wrapped up and then we'll keep on ripening and have some of the sweet 100s. Some of them are, oh, that looks good, ready to go. And some are not. I'll probably take the really ripe ones and put them in the fridge to slow them down for a few days until everything's ready, and then I'll go ahead and get my seeds and make my sauces. I'm going to leave you with an audio clip at the end of this. It's obviously JFK from one of his, I think his last speech, or one of his last speeches, Free and Independent. And this is what I think that the alternate media is destined to become, is to become the free press. Consider as you're watching this that the words he said here would get him labeled a terrorist by the FBI. Other people who might be terrorists, such as people who are libertarians, people who believe in the Second Amendment, those who talk about the Constitution, or those who fear big government. Also remember that he was shot and killed shortly after giving this speech.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it. There is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it. And there is very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning to the very limits of official censorship and concealment. That I do not intend to permit to the extent that it's in my control. And no official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, civilian or military, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know. No president should fear public scrutiny of his program, for from that scrutiny comes understanding, and from that understanding comes support or opposition, and both are necessary. Without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive. And that is why our press was protected by the First Amendment, specifically protected by the Constitution, not primarily to amuse and entertain, but to inform, to arouse, to reflect, to lead, mold, educate, and sometimes even anger public opinion. This means greater coverage and analysis of international news, for it is no longer far away. It means greater attention to improved understanding of the news